So normally she's ready to slash tires.
You will be under the jail.
I didn't do it.
Tires slashed.
It's not me.
Whatever needs to be done to secure the brand.
Hey guys, so I've been a pretty open book about my love life. It's really hard to get out of a relationship and then start again, to date again. And in my position, it's even harder because where do I go to date? But more importantly, have I healed? The most important part after a breakup is definitely healing, self-love, and figuring out exactly what you want. Because you think you knew what you wanted, whether it was a heartbreak or maybe the person in you just didn't work out. But for me, love after a breakup means it's time to hit reset. So guys, I'm gonna have someone join me named Katrina, and if anyone knows me and has been there through my heartbreaks, my ups, my downs, my engagement, like everything I've been through, it's her. She pretty much oversees everything Angela, from family, my love life, holding my leg when I have my child. Anything you can think of, she's probably done. That's how like tight we are. She's past just a friend, she's family, so she like gets it.
Tell the folks hello, Katrina.
Hey guys, it's Katrina, and I work very closely with Angela. We met, years ago in church.
Eons ago.
Both of us are PKs. Right at the time that I was actually leaving corporate America, or looking to leave corporate, she came up to me one day in church and said, "Hey, what do you do?" And the conversation started from there. We met probably that following week, and it was a wrap after that. And ironically, I was actually leaving Wall Street 2 weeks from the date that we actually met. So it was all like in God's timing.
It was an alignment.
Yeah, for sure. We're always in alignment though. That's how we roll.
Duh.
So a lot of you guys may or may not know that I even exist, right? Because I'm usually behind the scenes.
No, they kind of know. You've been on some of the shows.
Well, yeah, but there's a lot of people who don't know,
Okay,
right?
fair
And they
enough.
like, that's her homegirl. And they don't quite understand who I am, what I do,
Fair
or
enough.
what I mean to you or to SJ or your family. So I've been around, even if not in front of the camera, observing and watching for I don't know how long. And so I've seen her.
Pitbull in a skirt, they call her.
Yeah, that's a story. I won't say his name, but a certain somebody who works with a certain somebody started a rumor that Angela had this pit bull in a skirt working with her. And so her dad, I think, called her and was like, "Yo, who's this pit bull in a skirt I'm hearing about?" That was me. But that's just my personality. I'm very loving and protective, and I've been that way for Angela through every up and down, every relationship, every situationship, every friendship, circumstance-ship, you name it, ship. I've been there as an observer for the most part, and when my opinion or perspective is asked for, I certainly give it to her.
That's true.
Sometimes she doesn't ask for it, and I give it to her anyway.
That's
because I'm protective and I want the best for her. When you love somebody that much, there's not many lengths you wouldn't go for that person. So that's really how I feel for her.
I knew this already though. She's just telling y'all and filling y'all in. That's what had happened.
Yeah. Think about the first time you were in love, right? And
Shoot,
that love
I'm
broke
a
off.
lover.
I know I wasn't there, but I feel like I've heard stories about it. But what was that really like for you?
I was young. I mean, that happened a couple times though. I mean, you're talking about like back to high school. It was sad, but I feel like a breakup then was like, okay. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like now, like, I'm grown. Like, I don't got time to be getting these bumps and bruises. Like, I am grown. I have like a child. Like, I don't want to be getting my feelings hurt.
He's like 3 kids.
Yes. The first time compared to now, I mean, that was just a light cut. You know, you fall now, that thing is a bruise.
Yeah.
It's harder to get up, but I mean, I feel like I get up every time. You got to. It's like, if not, what are you doing?
Like if you're talking to Shakisha, who's in the
my
position you've
process
been in.
is be sad, like, cause you gotta be like, for real though, like it's your process, and then like get it together. Like, how long do you want to feel bad for yourself? Oh, it hurts. I'm not about to go through that more than a month. I mean, if it's a longer relationship, maybe longer times permitted, but you gotta do stuff. I think staying in motion, moving, self-love, spa days, writing, prayer, meditation, everything that involves you. That's my thing. Is like, after I break up with someone, it's terrible. I'm like, I'm not gonna lie, like, cause I'm a lover, so I'm like, I'm done with life. It's all over. And then after that, I'm like, okay, how bad is it, Angela? Are you gonna be okay? And then, you know, you pull it together.
Yes, you will.
That's all you can do. I'm not like gonna eat myself into denial. You know, some people after a breakup, I'm just gonna eat ice cream. I'm not doing that. You're not about to make me fat.
I think the most important part after a breakup is like to take time for yourself.
So, whatever that looks like.
Right, whatever that looks
Maybe
like.
it's eating, I don't know. But
And make sure you're, healed before you go on into your next situation. Otherwise, you end up carrying that and you repeat the same thing.
yeah, I'm
And it
not
becomes
trying
a
to do that.
cycle. And then you wake up and you're in your 40s, still single and struggling and trying to figure it out.
My first breakup, I don't really remember. It was like a long time ago. But like the one that meant the most, I would say around college. And yeah, I was pretty sad about it. I really remember it too. I don't know, like my breakups have gotten worse over the years. Like I guess I thought everything, I was really sad, but maybe because my breakups have trumped what has happened, I forgot. I remember being sad, but I remember being like, oh well. Like now I'm like, no, like it's different. It's a lot different.
First breakup, it was probably a blur. I've been such a machine for the majority of my life, and so in terms of tapping into emotions, I really wasn't connected to that. But I had a breakup recently that I feel like I'm still working through. Like every day it's a reminder or conversation with myself to not pick up the phone, to not text, to not DM, to not do anything, especially because I know how unhealthy it was at the time and how much I deserved. The only thing that keeps me sane in it is taking care of myself, making sure I'm in the best mental state as possible. And that's not to say life doesn't happen, because nothing's perfect. And life happens for me and for all of us every day. But it's having anchors in place for when life happens. For me, my anchor is, of course, prayer and meditation, and definitely connecting with my therapist. And my mom recently, oddly enough, has been probably one of the most incredible advisors that I've had. And I've not experienced like this relationship with her. Like her and I have always been mother-daughter. We're very much alike, but in terms of getting really solid advice that didn't involve and I'm gonna say it as I hear it, the four walls of the church, for instance, and just giving me real advice, to now where she's giving me amazing advice where I'm like, Mom, thank you.
It'd be the relationships right around you that probably are the best advice. I mean, having conversations with everyone around you versus what you feel is tough too, because you can be out of a breakup and everybody like, he was the worst for you, and you'd be like, but I really love them, or you know what I mean? It all falls back to yourself and what works for you. And I think after a breakup, it's you gotta laser focus on yourself. What is going to make you happy long term, not short term, because going back might make you cool short term, but long term, you really gotta be on your own, what's gonna work for me? That's what I think.
It really is about you and what you feel. You
Right.
can go and ask 75 people, and they're all going to have a different perspective, but we don't see, the people on the outside don't
What's
see
yours,
what you
right.
see, right?
What's yours.
I don't see, as much as I've sort of advised or given my opinion or perspective
Right.
over the years, I still don't see what you see. And that's something I had to resolve relatively recently, because I would get so angry, not at you, but because I'm
Right.
so protective and I care so much. I would be literally sick if we had a conversation about something and 24 hours you're right back in
Same
the
situation.
same thing. Yeah, that used to make me physically ill until I started to understand wait a
Everyone
minute,
has
she's an
different
individual.
perspectives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean anything less for her, but everybody has to go through their own process in
It's a
their
process.
relationships and even out of their
And
relationships.
after, I'm about to say it's the
Yeah.
after process too.
It looks different, because now it's very easy for me to cut the switch. But it took a minute.
It does take time.
It took a minute for me to get there where it was no, I matter.
Well, I guess
My
it's
feelings
knowing
matter.
Everyone's process is different.
Right.
So we can sit here and talk to you, but your process is probably not gonna look like hers or mine.
Mm-hmm.
But we all can agree that self-love is at the top. You gotta work on yourself.
Connect yourself with at least one person that has your best interests at heart, who's going to give you the truth whether you like it or not. But always knowing that they have your best interests and that they love you tremendously and want the best for you, just like
Yeah,
I always want the best for you.
I know.
Always.
Sometimes I'm hard-headed.
Yeah, it is. It's okay. I'll still pull up.
So normally she's ready to slash tires. She's like, where we pulling up? Who did it?
Without question.
Where they at?
Without question.
What happened?
Without question. And I
It's a
more than
pull-up.
likely have the person that's going to bail us out on standby too.
Katrina's gonna pull up.
Because I believe in being prepared for all
She's going to
things
pull
at
up.
all times.
I just, I be
But if
playing
it
the back. I
boils
just play
down
the back.
to it, she's the loving one.
Just play the
And I love too.
No, they don't think that though. They think I'm the mean one. I just play the back.
You will be under the jail.
I didn't do
Tire
it.
slashed.
It's not me.
Whatever needs to be done to secure the brand.
It's a pull-up. The question is, do you guys have a crazy best friend that might pull up or do something crazy without you asking or with you asking? Do you got that out there? I need to know.
Yeah. If not, I'll pull up for you.
Yikes. I feel like, you get in a relationship, you think you're gonna get married, and then it doesn't happen. Total bummer, feels terrible, obviously. I think that's the worst part about the breakup, right? You picture yourself with this person forever, and then boom, whole bubble bursted. I drew my future, we probably was having kids, and now you're about to be a stranger. That's kind of wild.
I'm at the point now where I've resolved, with God, in its time it will happen. There was a time where it was I would put up a good front for everybody else, but I'm sitting at home I'm calling my mom Mom, do you think it will ever happen for me? Right? I'm the last of 7 kids out of my parents' blended marriage, the only one who does not have children. And can you imagine Mother's Day, right? You all going out to dinner and you're the single one at the end of the table with no kids, no gifts, nothing. So it's been a process for me to get here. To get here where I was, where I'm more resolved, but there's certain ways of time for sure where I was okay, when is it gonna be my turn? It can be tricky.
Yeah. I would say for me, prayer is definitely a big one. I feel like when you're kind of down to nothing, you're supposed to pray regardless, but I feel like in your moments of need and desperation of wanting to understand a situation, you really have to put your faith before anything else. So prayer obviously has helped me come out on the other side. Because when there's nothing else, I'm all right, God, all right, I know you got a plan for me because this is not what I want. You know what I mean? You know what you want, especially in the moment. And when it doesn't work, you just gotta pray. I pray and I wait for answers and I meditate, and to me, prayer is all I have.
It's the way I start in my day. It's always been an anchor for me to return back to. So whether it could be the middle of a day and I'm having the worst migraine or headache or just pressure and there's 7,000 things being thrown at me, and I'll take 5 minutes. It's important for all of us to have that, to have that anchor, because when no one else is there, sometimes that's the only person or deity that is there for you.
That's so true.
But I do know a lot of, because, my father was a bishop, who are ridiculed for seeking therapy or told to go pray and lay before the altar and give whatever seed or tithe in order to resolve issues that really require clinical or outside support. There's a lot of people that we've encountered that are walking around just praying and believing God to erase. And that's not to say God isn't a miracle
God
worker.
will do it, but you still,
However,
gotta do the work.
Absolutely. And he's given us wisdom to make choices when those choices, should be made. And he'll support us in that, I believe.
I agree.
And that's been my experience. So
I went to therapy because I was going through real stuff. When life started happening and I realized that I needed therapy was after I lost my son's father to murder. That's what put me in therapy, or relationship therapy, because I'm with someone and we don't see eye to eye. So couples therapy, things like that put me in therapy. Prayer kind of helped me navigate that, self-love, and just figuring out what went wrong in the relationship and what could go better next time. But deeper stuff took me to therapy. So I feel like there are certain things that people want to know about my love life. I give some, but I also feel like you have to keep some. I put majority of my life on the forefront, and then I keep a 5 to 10% for myself, which is fair. I recently went through a breakup publicly, but I don't feel like it's something I need to fully talk about in public, other than just, to me, the most important part of my life right now is being myself, raising my son, and being in a great space, because that's all that matters. To me, if I'm in a great space, my son's in a great space, and everything else can, be good. The things I am doing this moment to love again is just working on me. I don't feel like there's really nothing you can do to fully prepare, because you never know when you're gonna walk into Mr. Right that you stay with. I'm just grinding out, working on me, bettering myself, growing, evolving. That's kind of all you can do. If a relationship doesn't work, I kind of just march forward and figure out not even the next relationship, but just more about myself. It's like after you throw a lot into a relationship, you gotta take all that energy and throw it back into yourself. That's what I would say.
It also helps keep your mind off of going backwards.
Keeps it
It
straight
keeps it
and
straight,
narrow.
keeps it focused. I think for me, I'm focused on myself, and I trust the universe, and I trust God. And I think that as I continue to work on me and continue to exist in new spaces.
You're in. He just woke up.
How's he feeling?
He crying.
Let me see him. Poppy, what's the matter? You remember what happened the last time I was here working and I had to come home?
I was sick.
Yeah, that wasn't good. You weren't feeling good, were you?
Yeah.
I had to rush out in the middle of filming because my baby was not feeling good. Fever spike, it was a lot. And I am his one and only, so I have to make sure everything is good all the time. And I'm a mom, so I'm extra worried. You know what I mean? Puppy, are you gonna talk to the people? Oh, nothing. Okay. Should I get my other son out?
No.
You wanna tell the world my other son's name? Okay. I tell him when he's not gonna do things right, I tell him that I'm gonna call my other son because he won't act right. So I usually tell him, you know, if you don't do it, then the other son's gonna do it. I really don't have another kid, but it works. So guys, we were talking about love after breakup. And so when my love calls, because this is the love of my life right now, I drop everything. So this is my my love of my life. Are you my love? You love me? A little bit?
A lot.
Oh, okay, I'll take a lot. What if I love you like 10,000 million trillion gazillion?
I love you that many too.
That's a good answer. But anyway, guys, this is the love of my life. And so, you know, I feel like when love is ready to greet me at my door, I'll be available. What? When love is ready to greet me at my door, I will be... Is he serious? It's more than enough love to go around. And he's gonna keep interrupting me because he knows I'm talking. I'm gonna call Jimmy. No, because Jimmy's gonna work with me. And Jimmy's gonna sit here and he's gonna do his job.
No.
Jimmy wants it though.
But I want it.
Okay, so I told you my story. Now tell me yours. Makeup, breakups, whatever it is, I wanna know. Make sure you subscribe for more real talk because we're just getting started.